One child in every 3,500 births is born with cystic fibrosis. I'm one of those children, and I will be talking with you today about how cystic fibrosis affects my life. The overall term of cystic fibrosis is an inherited chronic disease that affects the respiratory and digestive systems. This disease will create thick and sticky mucus that will both clog the lungs, making it hard to breathe, and affect the pancreas for excreting enzymes which help break down the food. When certain bacteria invade the lungs, it'll create infections and inflammation that will later turn to lung damage. This disease is also the result of being an abnormal gene which controls how salt is carried through the cell membrane by channel proteins. The picture shows how the sodium and chloride ions enter the cell but can't come back out because of the other channel blocking the way out. So it overall creates a buildup within the cell. And what the cell does is brings in more sodium and moisture to the cell to try and counteract the balance. And by taking the moisture out from the cell, it'll create the thick and sticky mucus on the outside of the cell. Since CF is an inherited disease, people like us can get through the genes that they receive from their parents, much as the same way as the genes can help determine characteristics, like, for example, eye color and hair color. Both the mom and the dad have the CF gene and the normal gene, which gives them the carriers of this gene. And at the time of conception, out of 4 kids, child A has the cystic fibrosis, child B and C are carriers, and child D is not affected. It is possible to have more than one child have cystic fibrosis within the family. I was first diagnosed with CF when I was 3 months old. The reason is because I was vomiting after feedings instead of digesting the food down. So this led me to become dehydrated and was entered into a hospital. While at the hospital, the doctors did a sweat test and measured the amount of salt levels within the sweat, and this came back positive because I had so much salt levels within it. And at home, I was first started using enzymes from pills that I take and mixing it with applesauce to help digest the food. My mom was also taught how to do chest therapy using rubber cups and positioning me on a pillow when I was young. So when doing it, it'll move the mucus from the air sacs into the bronchial tubes to help cough out the mucus. I've also been doing checkups in Iowa City every 3 months, and at one of the visits, my mom had found information on therapy vests and thought that it would help with the clearance of my airways. There's kinds of symptoms that people can have with CF would be like very salty tasting skin due to the high amount of salt content within the sweat, real shortness of breath due to amount of lung damage, frequent stools due to the incomplete digestion of food, and also poor growth or poor weight gain, also due to incomplete digestion. There are other kinds of symptoms that people can have, like recurrent pneumonia, clubbing or enlargement of the fingertips and toes, harsh coughing, and nasal polyps that make it hard to breathe through the nose. There are many treatments that people go through for CF. The amount of treatments that I do is a therapy vest airway clearance system, and by doing this twice a day, it'll vibrate, or it'll create air pulses that will travel through the vest from the machine up the hoses and into the vest, and the amount of vibrations that are going through will help loosen up the mucus from within the lungs. There are also different settings that CF patients have. I have 3 of them that I do. So the first setting is 17 hertz for 5 minutes, and the 8 is the amount of pressure that's going through the machine to the vest. So right now it's inflating the vest when doing it, and this is a higher setting when doing this. The next setting is 15 hertz for 10 minutes. And this is a medium setting that I do. And the last setting is 12 hertz for another 10 minutes. And this is a lower setting. So when doing the vest, I also use an albuterol inhaler to help open up the airways. And after each setting that I do, I would do a huff cough, which is doing real huffing that helps clear out the mucus. And there are many nebulizers that I take also. One is hypertonic saline. It is used by a nebulizer and a 1.4 milliliters of sodium chloride solution. It'll help thin out the mucus from within the lungs, and I do this twice a day. The other one is Clayton. It's an inhaled antibiotic, and by using a bottle of Clayton, like this, and a vial of sodium chloride solution, it'll create a mist for inhaling, and I do this 3 times a day for a 28-day course every other month. There are also many medications that I have to take when doing the vest. ZPEP is a digestive enzyme that helps break down the food, and I take 4 capsules before meals. Ursodiol clears the thick mucus from the liver, and I do 3 tablets twice a day. Ibuprofen helps combat inflammation from within the lungs, and I do a total of 1,400 milligrams twice a day. Aquadex is a high-level multivitamin that I take, and I do 2 tablets per day because I do not get the necessary vitamins like other people do. Vitamin D is another vitamin deal I take, and I do 1 tablet per day. Omeprazole prevents damage to the stomach lining from the other pills, and I do 1 tablet per day. Azithromycin is an antibiotic, and I do 2 tablets every other day, so like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I do this on the off month when not doing the case stint. And levofloxacin is another antibiotic, and I do 1 tablet per day while I'm on the case stint month. With the daily routine of the therapy vest system and right now there's no cure for cystic fibrosis, but there are various treatment options to help decrease the symptoms. There's also work progressing to try and fix the defective gene. For example, if the lungs are severely damaged, there's an option of doing transplants that help the person live a normal life with healthy lungs. And with the daily routine of the therapy vest system, medication treatments, and the checkups in Iowa City, this will help me live a normal life with cystic fibrosis. Up to 20 years ago, the life expectancy for a CF patient would be 14 years of age, but now with all the treatment options, we can live up to our 50s, maybe even older. And we can also die from natural causes other than our CF-related symptoms. Are there any questions?
Wow. Is there a chance it could develop later, or is it always present at birth and people and doctors just haven't diagnosed somebody?
It can usually happen like during like teenage, that it can develop during teenage. But usually it might happen during birth age, up to teenage, kind of.
This is a personal question. If you choose not to answer, you say not to answer. Do you have siblings with this, or parents with me?
I'm the only one within the family that has this disease.
Does the time of year make a difference on how you feel? Is winter harder for you? Is humidity in the summer, or?
Not really. Doesn't really affect the humidity at all.
Are you active? I mean,
Yes, I'm very.
obviously 4-H are very active.
Yeah, I'm active in basketball, and I also participate in band and choir, and also drama.
Does the treatment with the vest, does it hurt?
No,
Does
it just vibrates yourself with helping out the lungs.
do you particularly do it a certain time of the day? I mean, like morning and night? Does school make a difference when you can do it?
During school year, I do it in the morning and the afternoon after I'm done with school. Come home and do the best and all that.
And obviously, research has come a long way that they can probably care other than altering the gene.
Yeah. Any other questions? This concludes the presentation.
Yes,